Today in Awesome Stories, we are going to talk about an American slasher film called Hush. Spoilers ahead. We start in a house in the woods where a woman is making dinner using an online recipe. Maddie tries the food and makes a face doubting if she's cooking it the right way. She sees a message on her laptop of her neighbor Sarah asking her to stop by. She tastes the food again and it's still not happy with the result. Seeing that her laptop needs charge, she connects it to a charger. She gets the cat bowl and shakes it to alert the cat to eat the food. Seeing her friend getting closer to the house, she opens the door and hugs her. Sarah tells Maddie that she finished her book. Maddie is a talented author who was diagnosed with bacterial meningitis. At 13 years old, she suffered hearing loss and temporary vocal paralysis. After surgery complications, she permanently lost her speech and hearing. Maddie tells Sarah that she doesn't need to use sign language because she knows how to read lips. But Sarah says she is learning and getting better at it. Maddie asks what she thought of the book and Sarah says she loves it. Sarah asks Maddie how she comes up with unexpected endings and she says she has a writer's brain. She has a voice in her head that sounds like her mom telling her what to write. Sarah compliments Maddie saying she's a good storyteller. As they are talking, the fire alarm goes off and Maddie runs in the house to turn it off. Sarah takes the burnt meat out of the stove and says that the fire alarm it's too loud. Maddie says that she needs the vibrations to wake her up if she's sleeping. Sarah tells Maddie to go to her house since her dinner is burnt, but she denies it and says she has work to do. As Sarah's leaving, Maddie receives a message from Craig saying he misses her. She deletes the message and starts to work. At the couch, Maddie goes through the several endings to her new book and is conflicted on how to finish it. Frustrated, she opens FaceTime and calls Craig, but abruptly ends it. Craig calls her back, but she decides not to answer. Craig calls her again, startling Maddie into closing her laptop. While she throws the food away, Sarah shows up pounding the door trying to get her attention, but Maddie can't hear her. Suddenly, Sarah is hit with an arrow and a man holding a knife and a crossbow shows up. He stabs Sarah multiple times until she collapses dead on the porch. The man observes Maddie as she's unresponsive to him banging on the door. Noticing that Maddie is deaf, he drags Sarah's body out of the porch. Maddie continues to work and think about her book, while the man observes her undetected. Suddenly, Max, Maddie's sister, calls her and they talk about the book and Maddie's dating life. Max notices something moving in the background and Maddie says it's probably the cat. They end the call and Maddie starts to look for her cat around the house. Not finding her inside, she opens the door shaking the bowl but the cat doesn't show up. She opens the laptop to work on the book but receives a message from her phone. She gets more and more scared seeing that there are pictures of herself taken at real time. She slowly walks to the door and sees a masked man holding her phone. Maddie runs to the doors and locks it before the man can enter the house. He tries a second door, but Maddie also locks it. He gets to a third door before Maddie but is already locked. He goes around the house looking for an entrance, while Maddie keeps an eye on him. Maddie tries to contact the police with her laptop, but the man turns off the power to the house, making her more anxious. Maddie tries to connect to her neighbor's Wi-Fi, but she doesn't know the password. Seeing Maddie on the laptop, the man checks if she has access to another network. Confident that she has no means to contact anyone, he observes while Maddie shrinks in terror, afraid of what might happen next. Maddie watches while the man slashed her tires, making her unable to run. She has an idea and tries to negotiate with him, saying that she didn't see his face and her boyfriend is coming to her house. Without a second thought, he removes his mask and asks her if she can read his lips. After she says yes, he tells her that he can enter the house anytime he wants, but he doesn't want to go in yet. He tells her that he'll terrorize her until she wishes she was dead. Scared, Maddie grabs a knife and a hammer and looks for the man through the windows. She enters her bedroom and secures the door against intruders, also closing the drapes. As she waits armed for him, a shadow appears from the window grabbing her attention. As Maddie goes to check out who's knocking on the glass, she sees Sarah's dead body being held by the killer. Traumatized, she gets out of the bedroom and cries uncontrollably for her friend. Remembering that Sarah had a cell phone, she tries to call the man's attention with the car alarm, but she's too far. She opens the door and quickly goes out, turning it on. He runs to the car, giving her a chance to reach her friend's body and taking the cell phone. He turns off the alarm and goes back to the window, seeing Maddie reaching for her friend's phone. Maddie quickly returns inside the bedroom, but he doesn't let her close the window. Seeing the hammer, Maddie lets go of the window and stabs him in the arm, making him scream in pain. Mad, the man cuts a piece of Sarah's clothing and stops the bleeding with it. Seeing that Maddie wants the cell phone, he taunts her with one of Sarah's earrings. Watching him from the kitchen, Maddie keeps an eye on him while he goes around the house. When he's far enough, she gets out of the house and tries to escape through the woods. He sees her running and throws an arrow at her, making her run back into the house, barely escaping another arrow. After she observes him going around the house, she opens a window and reaches the roof. She turns on the flashlight and throws it into the woods, making a noise. The man notices and follows the light while Maddie walks on the roof. Maddie tries to climb down, but he hits her leg with an arrow. When she climbs the roof again, she tries to look at him, but he throws another arrow, almost hitting her head. Maddie takes the arrow out of her leg and hits him when he tries to climb up. Taking his crossbow, he climbs up again while Maddie goes back in the room through the window. Impressed with Maddie's tenacity, he gets off the roof. Experiencing a lot of pain because of her leg, Maddie goes to the bathroom and cries as she treats her wound. Looking at the crossbow, Maddie sees marks indicating how many people the man killed. Using all her strength, Maddie tries to arm the crossbow while he watches from the windows. Suddenly, Sarah's boyfriend knocks on the door calling for her, getting the killer's attention. He approaches the boyfriend pretending to be a cop and asks him to put the phone on the ground. The boyfriend tells him that his name is John Stanley and says that he's just looking for his girlfriend. The man gets John's wallet and verifies his identity while John is on his knees. Pretending to be a cop who just started working, he tells John that someone assaulted him, taking his gun and his wallet. John starts to get suspicious when he takes the phone and pretends to call for backup. While the man is interrogating him about Maddie, John notices that the killer hurt his arm. When John asks for his phone back, he drops one of Sarah's earrings. John starts interrogating him, trying to figure out if he's really a cop. Suspicious that he's lying, John says that Maddie has a spare key under some planter. When he goes to grab it, John picks up a rock and prepares himself to strike him. Suddenly, Maddie shows up and starts pounding the glass door, distracting John. The killer stabs John on the neck, making him slowly collapse due to the blood loss. John tries to attack him, but gets stabbed a second time on the leg. As he tries to verify if John is dead, John tackles him to the floor and tries to suffocate him. Maddie imagines trying to run but realizes that he would catch her and kill her because of her injured leg. The man gets free from John's chokehold as he dies from blood loss. Maddie realizes that she can't outrun the man or kill him with the crossbow since she can't even load it. She can't turn the power back on because she doesn't know if the man cut the wires. She can't hide either because she's gonna bleed out if she waits for him. Concluding that she can't run, hide, or wait, she decides to kill him. After getting cigarettes from John's pocket, the man grabs a wrench from the car and enjoys a smoke before entering the house. Seeing the cat come back to the house, he takes a knife to kill it. Before he can do it, Maddie hits him in the shoulder with an arrow. When she returns inside, she drops one of the arrows and tries to get it back. Seeing that, the man closes the door on her hand, breaking it with his foot. Maddie locks the door, but cries in a lot of pain. While the man watches her with a smile, he breaks the arrow and announces that he's going into the house. They stare at each other through the glass and Maddie taunts him to come in using her own blood. He grabs the wrench and smashes the glass door while Maddie writes on her laptop the man's description and her parents that she loves them. Maddie enters the bathroom and waits for the man with a knife. While she stares at the door, he climbs down her bathroom behind her ready to stab her. She feels the man's breath in her neck and without hesitation, she turns and stabs him in the leg. Dizzy because of the blood loss, she tries to grab a knife in the kitchen but collapses. He sees Maddie on the floor and goes to kill her, but she hits his eyes with bug spray. With him blind, she turns on the fire alarm and makes him drop the knife due to the loud sound and flashing lights. Maddie grabs the knife, but he's able to drop her and kick her several times on the stomach. As he goes to choke her, she bites him, but he hits her and tries to choke her again. She tries to hurt him by pressing the wound that he has in his shoulder, but he won't let go. As he's choking her out, she's able to grab the wine opener and stab him on the neck. He bleeds out on top of her but collapses as she pushes him aside. Seeing her attacker dead, she uses John's phone to call the police. She walks to the front steps of her house and pets her cat while she waits for the police to show up. As a police car arrives, Maddie smiles knowing that she won that fight and her story has a happy ending. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like. It really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.